I think it's really important to mention why the size of LDL particles is so important when it comes to
Yep.
atherosclerosis. So think of it this way. If you got like a really, really thin, small crack that runs along, say like, I don't know, a driveway. If you have really big rocks, they're not going to fall into the crack. But if you have itty bitty pebbles and all this stuff, they're going to fall into the crack and kind of cram in there and fill things up, get in the way. So the same thing happens with your vessels. So if you have large LDL particles and you have these small cracks run along your vessels due to inflammatory cells and immune system that are all spiky that'll kind of scrape along there, large particles won't clog that crack. However, if you have really small particles, they're going to latch onto that and try to heal. So the function of cholesterol when it comes to atherosclerosis is cholesterol is our internal clotting agent to just like when we cut our finger, scab up the inside of our vessels. So like we have these really spiky cells that go through the vessels that are immune system cells. Whenever there's inflammation, they will scrape up the vessel. And then from there, our body goes, oh, we have injury here. We have a scrape or some sort of cut on the inside of our vessels. Let's try to clot that so it can heal. And that's where the cholesterol clogs in there. And the LDL specifically will do that quite a bit. Smaller particles will be more likely to do so. And so the larger those particles are, the better that you are off in regards to LDL actually being a risk factor for you. That's why the full lipid panel is so important. That being said, if you're really curious about your blood pressure and cardiac risk, all that stuff, don't just look at your LDL by itself. Get a full lipid panel to see what the size of your LDL particles are.